Coming up on this episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, Gamescom opening night live is happening, and you know what that means. Do you know what that means? Does anybody know what that means? Let's live here together so the Nintendo Cartridge Society lives here with you. Welcome to Nintendo Cartridge Society. My name is Patrick Ellers, and I am joined, as I am always joined, by my co-host, Mark Mitchell. We've got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking about the news from the week, and then on Thursday, sadly, Splatoon month concludes with our Splatoon mega ranking. But Mark, in the meantime, how's it going?
It's going great.
Are you ready for Splatoon month to end?
No.
Yeah.
You'll have to peel this.
Right, your lab coat.
My lab coat
off
of me. Yeah.
Yeah,
and also
it's
I'm worried
really
about,
crusted to your body.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about what happens to my skin when we try to remove it. But
let me assure you, I'm not worried. I was gonna rip that thing off.
How about you? How are you feeling about Splatoon month?
I'm having a great time in Splatoon month. It's been so much fun to be playing these Splatoon games and just immersing ourselves in the lore. I'm very excited for our ranking on Thursday.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun to rank some of the things we're going to rank.
Yeah. Yes. Ooh, cryptic. What a tease. What are we gonna rank?
Well, speaking of cryptic, we have come to an end with Castlevania 2 quotes.
Yes. This, unfortunately, Let's Live Here Together. That is our final usable quote from Castlevania 2.
The rest of them have
Simon's
so many
Quest.
swears in it.
There's so many swears and slurs. It's confusing. No, it's just that like so much of the game's dialogue is like, buy these laurels from me. You'll need laurels. So we are done with that. We are starting the text from a new video game on Thursday.
Oh my gosh, we're teasing what the things we're going to rank
Oh my
on
God.
Thursday.
It's going to be so good.
We're teasing the game we're going to start using quotes from in our cold open. I mean, if you're not tuning in on Thursday, I don't know what's happening.
And then, just know that after that, we'll record other episodes that will also be out there in the world. So we're teasing all kinds of things right now, Mark, and having a great time doing it. What am I telling people to listen to the show they're currently listening to? I guess subscribe. We never ask people to do that. Here's the real ask, I suppose, is if you want to hear us talk about more stuff, you can head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Cartridge Society, where if you are supporting us at the 8-bit or 16-bit levels, you get access to our once-a-month episodes of miniseries like NCS at the Movies.
Yes, and we don't have to tease this one. I'll just tell you straight up. NCS at the Movies is where Patrick, myself, and usually a special guest are going to the movies and then talking about it.
Yes.
If in September, we're going to be talking about Resident Evil, the new Resident Evil movie.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, me too.
Like Zach Kreger a lot. Really enjoyed Weapons, Resident Evil. The movies, some of them I have seen and have a soft affinity for. But this movie is supposed to feel like you're playing one of the games.
Yeah, interesting. I have not seen them since they came out. But I have seen all of the Paul W.S. Anderson.
All of them.
Resident Evil movies.
Wow.
I think I saw the last one in theaters. And then...
I think I just saw the second one, which is not actually directed by Anderson.
I thought he did all of them for whatever reason.
No, he's like a producer on all of them.
Okay.
And he definitely did the screenplay for the second one. He didn't direct 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
But he directed 1 and then 4, 5, 6. And the one that's in 3D, I saw that one in the theater. But I don't remember. Anyway, this movie will be totally unrelated to all of that.
But I've never seen any of the Capcom animated ones.
No, neither have I.
Yeah. But I'm excited.
But we like Resident Evil.
Yeah, so I'm excited for Resident Evil for sure. But we've talked about a bunch of other movies, and there are other miniseries on the Patreon, including 3 seasons of NCS Arcade, where Patrick and myself played games we'd never beaten before, NCS Goes Broadway, NCS Detective Club, and some of that is available at the free level.
And some of it at the 4-bit level as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So head on over to Patreon, see what you are interested in paying and what you want to listen to. It's all available there. Or if you just stay here on the main feed and listen to the podcast, that's great too. Let's see. You could also be in the Discord if you are not there already. Email us, Nintendo Cartridge Society at gmail.com. And you can, I send you an invitation. You hop in there. We chit chat about what's going on in the world of Nintendo. And it is a good time and a lot of fun people in there. Also, Mark, my book came out a couple weeks ago. So that is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Anatomy of a Mutant, an in-universe reference book that has 200 pages of original art from Matteo Santaloco. I wrote all of the copy in this book. It is fun. I can't believe it's out there and exists. So check it out wherever you buy books. We also have a little... Do we consider this a debug?
I am charitably to us going to say that this is not a debug.
Right.
But we did have some comment from Marco about our ranking of enemy armies inspired by the Salmonids.
Right, and this is a long comment, and Marco is totally self-aware that this is a long comment on the YouTube video where we were ranking enemy armies. And Mark, you want to just take it away here?
Yeah, okay. So Marco says, so a couple of things and a few corrections.
And we can skip through this as we as we deem necessary, yes?
Sure.
Okay.
King K. Rool and the Kremlin crew. The reason you are thinking that K. Rool is 3 separate characters may be because of a well-known misinterpretation/localization error found in the trophy description of King K. Rool in Super Smash Bros. Brawl that says, quote, the supreme commander of the Kremlin crew, King K. Rool, steals bananas from Donkey Kong. His brother, Captain K. Rool, made an appearance in the game Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. So, I'm going to skip the rest. But the canon answer
yes,
is that they're all different people. But
they're perhaps personas.
Right. I think that's where we landed in the episode, but I was and sometimes continue to be confused whether they are separate people or not, and maybe this is the genesis of that confusion.
Now, James McAvoy's character in the movie Split.
I'm listening.
Is he playing different characters?
Well, no,
or one character playing different personas?
Well, he is playing one character with different personas. Are we asking about James McAvoy or the character in the movie?
The character in the movie who has many different...
Yes, I think he's... Oh, yeah. Well, I think he's one person with many personas.
Okay.
Are you saying is King K. Rool split?
I'm asking if King K. Rool is split.
Oh, okay,
yes.
Yeah. And I don't think we know.
If King K. Rool is split, does that make Donkey Kong unbreakable?
I think it might. Well, then, does that make the Tiki Tac tribe Samuel L. Jackson's character?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it does. We got to go back and rewatch those movies.
We got to go back and rewatch those movies and maybe play Donkey Kong Country Returns again. Okay, moving on. Team Rocket. This is Marco. Team Rocket. Not much of an army. They're more in the vein of an organized crime syndicate. They're essentially the Mafia Yakuza of the Pokemon world. Granted. Premise granted. I don't argue that at all.
I will accept that note. However, I do think there are ways in which you could consider the Yakuza an army.
I completely agree.
It's just a little looser.
Nuance.
Right,
yes. It's nuance.
Mm-hmm.
Shy Guys. They are considered a faction of the Koopa Troop, made obvious in the fact that they served under Baby Bowser under the guidance of Kamek. Okay.
I will agree that their interests frequently align with the Koopa Troop.
Yeah.
They do seem to be working of their own accord frequently.
Yeah, I think we're just not going to agree on this
I think we're not going to agree on this one. Drew Mackey, can we get a ruling on this, please?
Oh, yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I feel like Drew's got information about the Shy Guys.
Marco also says that it's not, we kept saying the Dreamland in Mario 2, and that it's not called Dreamland. The Dream Realm in the game is called Subcon, which we did not name, but I know that to be true.
And we were just using it colloquially to be like the Dreamland, not Dreamland.
Okay, Subspace. So from Super Smash Brothers Brawl? Did I get that right?
Yes.
The reason Bowser, Wario, and Ganon...
Do you know what my mnemonic is for remembering which one is Brawl and which one is Melee? Is that we had a little bit where we were calling the people who couldn't get over Super Smash Brothers Melee babies.
Oh.
And I just sing like Muppet Babies, Melee babies. Yeah. And so that in my head, that's how I know.
Okay.
That's the GameCube one.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Okay. The reason Bowser, Wario, and Ganondorf served the Subspace Army was that they were under the impression that they were serving Master Hand. It wasn't until everyone reached subspace when they realized that Master Hand was being controlled by Taboo, the true mastermind behind the events of subspace. Also, there was never a point where they controlled Donkey Kong. You might be misremembering, but we absolutely were.
Yes.
But one of the enemies of that army, the subspace bugs, powered by Mr. Game & Watch, the Nintendo character that can take many forms, were able to create and clone enemy characters in the Nintendo cast. DK was not cloned, Diddy Kong was, and he was giant.
Okay, so this is a good correction.
Yeah.
We were both, I believe, drawing on our original memories of having played Subspace Emissary like 18 years ago, right?
Yeah, so this is an excellent correction.
Yes.
Yeah, because we did get the details wrong for sure. Andross/Starwolf. Starwolf is not a faction of Andross's army. Much like Team Star Fox has hired help for the Cornerian army, so too are Team Starwolf for Andross's forces. They are hired gunmen who serve under contracts.
See, I think subcontractors count as part of the army, right?
Yeah, I honestly cannot remember what we said specifically, but I agree with this.
You agree with the note.
Well, I mean, I agree that, like, yeah, they are contractors for Andross's army.
They're part of the army.
But they're working as... Yes, I agree.
They're not on payroll. They
Yeah.
don't get benefits.
Right.
But, like, they're yeah.
Meta Knight and the Meta Knights in Kirby Superstar. The Meta Knights made an appearance in the side game, Meta Knights Revenge. Their motivation was that they were tired of the lazy lifestyle that the citizens of Dreamland... Of the citizens of Dreamland, possibly commentary on the way King DDD handles his reign as king and decided to take over Dreamland. That's incredible.
Yes, and not anything that we knew. So good. That's good note. Like that one.
The Underworld Army. This army is
By the way, these are all good notes.
Yeah, they're all good
Thank you
notes.
for engaging in the conversation.
The Underworld Army. This army is kind of funny in the sense that they work like Hydra of Captain America. Once Medusa was defeated in an uprising, Hades seizes the opportunity to take over the army itself. Hades also is similar to Taboo in that he pretty much orchestrated the entire events in Uprising.
Like Blofeld in that bad Bond movie.
That's right.
I am the architect of all of your suffering.
So bad.
I guess spoilers for Spectre.
And then shout out to the two armies not mentioned in this ranking, but totally should have been. Gigas's army from Earthbound.
Which we did mention after we were done ranking them.
And then the Pigmask army from Mother 3, which I've never played.
I've also never played Mother 3, but it was also mentioned in the Discord. So, Marco, if you're not in the Discord and you would like to be having conversations with other people who were giving us these actuallys already, email us. We'll send you an invite and you can pop on in there.
Marco ends it. Sorry for the very long, actually nerdy comment, but I just had to make some notations. Love what you guys do, Marco. Marco, thank you so much for writing in. These had some excellent corrections, all of them excellent comments, and we appreciate everybody who engages with the content we put out.
And look, there's a lot of information about all of the armies across every Nintendo game. So, yeah, we gotta sort through these things together. But also, Drew Mackey, I would like a ruling on that Shy Guy thing. All right, Mark, let's get into it. Let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Okay, so I would say the one thing that we both have been working on is the Donkey Kong Bonanza DK challenges.
Yeah, that's right.
So I will start with my little report. I am done. I have completed all of the speed and developer challenges in Donkey Kong Bonanza. I have completed it all. I am now just waiting until October, I guess, to find out how to redeem my accomplishment for the physical reward.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Thank you. I want to talk more about like how I got there, but I want to hear how you're doing first.
Yeah, okay, so I have done I did all the retro challenges.
Yep.
I have done all of the whatever the timed ones are in
this
DK
is like
Bonanza.
the time challenge. Yeah.
So I've done all of those except for the Rambi race. I have not completed that one yet, where you have to complete it under 55 seconds or whatever.
So that's in the developer challenges.
Yeah, then, well, whatever. I haven't done that one.
Okay. That one's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, I haven't done that one, and then I haven't done the other two, or three maybe. The three. So I haven't done the one where you have to collect a bunch of gold. In one of those levels,
which
bonus levels.
You can do. That's imminently doable.
I have not done the boss rush.
Yep.
And I have not done that like final challenge where
the final rehearsal.
Yeah, the final rehearsal where you have to take off all of your skills and everything like that.
Which you also need to do for the boss rush.
Yeah,
Do you have those unlocked? Because those are like high banana threshold.
I have a lot of bananas, but I have not done any of the. I did not go back into Donkey Kong Bonanza do any of the post game stuff, so I may be able to unlock it, but I have not. I haven't engaged with it at all.
Okay. So I think you will need to do the rehearsals first.
Yeah. I am not sure that I'm going to have time to do all the stuff that I need to do before September 1st.
Yes.
I'm wishing that I would have started the DK challenges like a month ago when they announced them. But when it was just
they
digital
announced them
cards,
in June.
Well, when they became available or whatever.
Yes.
Which may have been June.
Yeah.
I may have just been sitting on my hands this whole time because I did not care until the physical cards showed up.
Yes.
And now I'm like, I snooze, I lose.
Yeah. You snozzed, you lost. But I would still, if you can, I would love for you to still keep trying.
Yes, I don't intend to give up.
Yes, good.
But I just genuinely don't know I'm going to have time to accomplish it before next week.
Have you been utilizing assist mode at all?
have utilized assist mode. Yeah, I have been.
I also utilize assist mode for the final 2 challenges where you have to take all of your skills down. By the way, you don't really have a sense of how much Donkey Kong has grown until you've unequipped all of his skills. So for those 2 challenges, I did have Sarah play as a second player, as Pauline. And have you messed around with that at all?
No.
So the Pauline player controls a reticle on the screen, and you can suck up whatever material that the reticle is pointed at, and then you can also launch that material.
Oh, so kind of like the elephant bonanza a little bit.
It's sort of an elephant bonanza.
Interesting.
Yeah. That is just sort of always working on its own, and that can either be the reticle can be controlled by either sort of motion controls or a mouse controls, or just with a thumbstick. So there are a lot of ways for another person to help you in what's happening. Even if your husband doesn't really play games that much, he knows how to use a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So he could help with that. You do have to do a lot of coordination because so with Sarah playing with the controller, she had just as much control over the camera as I did, which is a little frustrating, but we just sort of got in tune with each other. And I really only needed that help for the beginning of, so the final rehearsal is the hardest part, the first challenge in it is the hardest part. If you clear that, then you'll be fine, or not fine, but it can be done. And the boss rush challenge, I had the hardest time with the first boss. And after getting through that with Sarah's help, that we not cruised all the way through it, but I would say that working together, the 2 of us beat those last 2 challenges in a little less than an hour.
And I guess I could be working on them now. I don't have to do these in order, right?
Yeah, no, you don't have to do. You do not have to do them in order. I would say the one that feels like the biggest grind is the Rampy one. Finishing that in under 55 seconds is genuinely quite difficult.
You posted the video of yours in Discord, and I thought it was so funny because you're you finish by crossing the finish line
off the map.
Off the map.
I have clearly fallen off the map. I have the tiniest bit of meter left, so I can boost up and just not die.
Yeah.
And it does mean that my finish is 50 seconds flat, or 50.2 or something like that. A really low time. And I was I wonder how that ranks up against world records. People have done this thing in 39 seconds.
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But yeah, I was for a second thought I was hey, am I world class good at this? No, I'm fine at it. But yeah, it's been super fun to be revisiting Donkey Kong Bonanza.
This was genuinely shocking to me because it is usually not the case. But I actually came back to the controls really easily.
Oh, okay.
I was one with Donkey Kong almost immediately.
Sure.
Versus when the DLC for Breath of the Wild released, the Champions Ballad.
Right.
It had been months since I had been in it, and
Yeah.
I was just totally lost. I'm like, how do I aim and change my arrow type at the same time?
Oh,
Like,
dude, it took me a really long time to like wrap my head around like where the jump button was and like where my attack buttons were, and then beyond that, like how do I bring up the menu and fast travel? I had to Google how do I change Donkey Kong's skills. Like you push up on the D-pad to bring up like that skill menu. But yeah, it's just like a good lesson in like, oh yeah, here are all of the things that like your fingers slowly learned how to do now being all thrown back at you at once.
right. Yeah, that's what was so crazy is usually I don't.
Yeah.
I forget that stuff immediately. It was very strange. But anyways.
I just want to quickly mention that, I was having a conversation with my friend Taylor about Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I asked if he was going to take these challenges on. And he was like, I think in the end I didn't really love Donkey Kong Bonanza. And he was like, because like at the end of the day, like the gameplay is fun, but like there's just not any challenge there really. And I was like, that is true until you get to like the post game stuff where like the game becomes genuinely challenging, and obviously these challenges make it like hyper difficult, and so like I definitely agree with his criticism, but like the challenge is in there, you just really got to go looking for it. All right, other games that we've been playing this week and this weekend. Mark, you got in to do that Duskbloods network test.
Yeah, I did. I was only able to play one session, the one on Saturday, like that ran from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Pacific time. I was debating, like, oh, should I wake up like early on Saturday morning to try to take part in the first one that ran from like 3 a.m. to 7 a.m.? Except I'm glad I didn't, because apparently something went wrong and they just ended up canceling that session entirely.
Right. Which was also true of the first Elden Ring Night Rain.
Yeah, that's right.
Test network test.
But I had a lot of fun in the network test, and I know the network test is like a slice of a slice. Like it's not really a demo. They do have some tutorials in the beginning, like different like tutorial levels to kind of teach you the mechanics and movement and stuff like that before you jump into like an online session.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. Like, I am not a PvP person generally because I'm just not that good at games. You know what I mean? Like, I don't excel at button combinations and like combat against, like, do you know what I mean?
But you do have good instincts. You're not a bad video game player.
No, but I go at my own pace. It's
Sure.
like I
do stop and smell the flowers.
But you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
fighting games are not my thing. That's not how I really like to engage games. But this is a really interesting mix, just again based on the network test, where they're each, I guess, like match or whatever you want to call it, like each engagement has 4 discrete sections. And the first one is really about like exploring the space. And in this network test anyways, it felt very much like Bloodborne. It felt like being back in Bloodborne, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're like exploring these areas, you're coming across like...
Which, is this explicitly in the world of Bloodborne?
No,
or? Okay.
it's not.
It's just very similar and has blood in the name.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And so so that felt very like familiar to me because you're going through the world, you're encountering enemies, you're like stumbling on like weird things, surprising enemies, like all that kind of stuff. And you can engage with other people. Like, honestly, it's difficult to describe what you experienced in the network test because to do it like succinctly, because there's so much that can be happening. It's like, okay, you're exploring everything, but if one of the other participants stumbles across these like special enemies, then it becomes an opportunity for everybody to co-op, work together, and take down that special enemy.
Oh, interesting.
Or you can choose not to, and you can not engage with that, and other people can be doing that while you're exploring the world, because you're trying to get these like virtue, which are these points that basically it's like, okay, once you get to in the network test, it was only on the third one, but in the
on
real
the
game,
third one, what?
the third like round,
Oh, okay.
that they start calling people if you don't have enough virtue.
But
But in the
does the virtue also like level you up or like prepare you for anything?
So you do get like skills and things like that in the network test. I don't understand how it's all going to work long term, where you have like your own character that you are leveling up and stuff like that. Like
okay.
I don't understand how it's all supposed to work together in the main game.
Sounds like Kirby Air Riders to me.
I mean, that's what people are. I have seen it referred to that like City Ride.
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
City Tour.
City thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, but by FromSoftware. So I had a ton of fun.
City Trial,
of course. I had a lot of fun. There seemed like there are a cajillion mechanics.
Okay,
but the one thing that prevents me from being all in on it, because we haven't gotten to new releases yet, but Elden Ring releases on Switch 2 this week.
Right.
And so playing the Duskbloods network trial made me feel like maybe I want to get into this.
There we go.
But
will your appetite be satiated by the single player of Elden Ring?
And so should I just get Elden Ring now and start playing that and then maybe pick up the Duskbloods? Or should I not get Elden Ring? Because I know that I'm not going to have space in my life for both.
Right.
So I'm debating, do I commit to Elden Ring or do I commit to the Duskbloods? And I'm kind of leaning towards Elden Ring.
Because like Elden Ring we know is like a Game of the Year contender game, right?
Because all of these matches in the Duskbloods end in PvE battles, right?
PvE battles?
PvP, sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Player versus player.
Right. And so it's like, okay, and I know that's not like the whole game and there's going to be more to it. So I don't know what to do, basically.
Right.
I'm hoping that we get a release date for the Duskbloods soon so I can kind of plan my life around, if it's coming out around the same time as Zelda, well, maybe I should get Elden Ring and just commit to that. I don't know.
I mean, you say that you're only going to have room in your life for one of these games, and maybe that's true. I mean, Duskbloods we think is coming out this year, right?
Everything they've said is this year. They've said nothing to make us think that it won't be.
It does seem kind of crazy that Elden Ring comes out this week and then that they would release another big one of these games on Switch 2 this same year.
I mean, it's unfortunate because Elden Ring was supposed to release last year. It was announced as 2025, and they delayed it because they couldn't get the performance up to snuff.
Right.
So yes, it does seem interesting that probably within 3 months we will have 2 new FromSoftware games on Switch 2.
Doesn't that feel like malpractice? Like, I don't think they should be allowed to do that.
And I guess different publishers, because Bandai Namco is the
right.
publisher of Elden Ring. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the Duskbloods, and maybe I should just embrace the fact that I will want to play both. But if I put a ton of time into Elden Ring, I'm just worried that when it comes to Duskbloods, it'll be like, well, I just did this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but also maybe the slightly different flavor of it being competitive and you're playing eventually against real people. Maybe that'll feel like a bit of novelty on there.
Yeah.
A little bit like how, playing Splatoon Raiders has sort of I've not done a lot of it, but I've hopped into Splatoon 3 and messed around with just some turf war stuff. I'm just sort of in the Splatoon mindset and a little bit more open to playing that PvP stuff that I wouldn't normally be all that excited about.
I think I'm super curious what the game itself holds, because obviously the network test was designed around hammering the servers, and from what the previews have been saying and what FromSoftware is saying, it sounds like there's a lot more to it, and I'm really interested because they've told us basically nothing about this game.
Right.
So I'm very intrigued. I had a lot of fun.
And honestly, the fact that they have really told us nothing about the game does make me think that we got to be more. It's not coming out in the next 4 months, right? 3 months?
I mean,
they're saying this year, but that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Let's see. So because I spent a lot of time this weekend playing the sort of high intense action of either Splatoon in various forms or Donkey Kong Bonanza, I was I need a chill out a chill out game. So I picked up a game that I had purchased, I believe, earlier this year, Detective Instinct Farewell, My Beloved. Do you remember me mentioning this a couple months ago?
Yes, I think so.
So this is a Famicom Detective Club like game that from a very small indie studio that, like I say, came out earlier this year, and I played like the first chapter of it when it first came out, and was like, this is okay. I don't didn't really feel like the pull back into it. But the first chapter takes place in a hotel, and the rest of the game takes place on a train. And the train is so much more compelling of a setting for a murder mystery to be unfolding, and for like all of the suspects to be like, you got like a closed door kind of thing going
it's a
on.
classic.
It's a classic. And it's one of these like transcontinental, like going through like the Alps or whatever. There's a day or a chapter in the game where it's raining outside, so like it's just like rain streaking across the windows. It rules. But so the game is, like I say, very much like a Famicom Detective Club game, which is a little bit more of like deduction required, but not a lot. At the end of each chapter, you and your partner Emma have to like review all the things that you learned that day, and so she like kind of quizzes you on it, which is a fun. First of all, it was a fun way for like me to actually have that information like really nailed down in my head. I frequently feel like I'm forgetting stuff when I'm playing a Famicom Detective Club game. And this is a nice little workaround for that. I also found that there's no voice acting in the game, which is great, and I appreciate it as it is. The art is all pixel art for the characters.
Okay.
But the backgrounds are sort of like a low poly, like pre-rendered, like a Resident Evil background, like an original Resident Evil background, except lower detail even than that. So it feels like an old CD-ROM game in some ways. And it's got this really interesting story where there's like a made-up European country that is like recovering from a civil war and like a schism between like two halves of this country, and so there's like all this political intrigue mixed up in the like murder mystery that's like at the heart of it. And I am on the final chapter right now. I was hoping to finish it before we recorded today, but I'm really enjoying it as just a simple little detective game.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, it sounds like they borrowed from the best, because even like the title, like Farewell My Beloved, it's like a riff on Farewell My Lovely. The train setting, like Murder on the Orient Express. The fact that the character quizzes you at the end of chapters, like that's straight out of Famicom Detective Club.
Yep.
So yeah, but I mean, those are all things that I love. So mixing it in one big game, sounds perfect.
The thing that sort of put it back in my head was when you mentioned that you have to get back to the second Paranorma site.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I have the first one of those on my Switch waiting to play. But I was like, you know what? I started this game. I should actually, and I started over, but so yeah, I'm going to see this one through because I'm having a great time. And it's just like, it's the kind of thing where I was like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to take like, oh, do I take my book with me to bed, or do I take this book that is a video game that I'm playing? So anyway, I'm enjoying it. Mark, I think you would like it. Okay, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's get into the new releases and what we might be playing next week.
Okay, let's check in on Nintendo Music. So last Thursday, Nintendo added the Super Nintendo soundtrack for SimCity.
Very cool. A very cool addition to the lineup, and one that, I mean, Nintendo did publish this game, right? But it's a SimCity game.
Yeah, that's right. Nintendo developed it. They worked with like Maxis or whatever to create a version of the game for Super Nintendo. This is where Mr. Right comes from. The soundtrack is composed by Soyo Oka, who worked at Nintendo like in the 90s, but left in like by the end of the 90s, I think, to work somewhere else, to continue as a contractor somewhere else. But she worked on Super Mario Kart. She worked on the original Pilot Wings. So she has some banger soundtracks, and SimCity is one of them. It is a really, really great Super Nintendo soundtrack for a game that is not on Nintendo Switch Online, is not on Nintendo Classics.
Yeah, I feel like it. I mean, I wonder if there's just a matter of like their license to sell a game with that name. You know, if like they would have to like make nice with the license holder. But yeah, I wish it was. I mean, the fact that the music is available here suggests something.
Yeah, I feel like but is this the first time that there's a soundtrack on here for, probably not, for a game that isn't playable?
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's like DS
3DS games.
Yeah. But yes, a very cool soundtrack. Also, man, the way it just like makes it's such an early game in the Super NES life cycle that it is really relying more on the sounds that sound chip can make, and like not really doing any of the sampling that sort of like later soundtracks would be like known for. So just like hearing a lot of the sound effects that like the Square Enix game or the Squaresoft games would use later on, sort of in the same register as the like Mario sounds, like that marimba, the sort of funky bass right in there with like the flutes that, you know, sound right out of Secret of Mana to me, and like the strings that sound straight out of Chrono Trigger. It's just so itself, like it's just embracing the identity of that, like this is only the Super NES sound chip sounds like this.
Yes, and as somebody who grew up with that sound chip and who like loves those sounds, the SimCity soundtrack is such like a showcase for that sort of thing. Yesterday on Monday, Mario Kart World free roam playlist, but only one was added, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. They also added 2 bonus tracks, the title theme and Crown City. But, and I know we've said this for many weeks, I think it's possible they're really at an end for free roam tracks because they only added
1 game's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thought, and the fact that they also added like 2 other non-free roam tracks to this one makes me think this is the going out of business sale.
Yeah,
right?
I think maybe they are done with Mario Kart World music.
Maybe they're shutting down the music app altogether.
They also released 2 videos like on YouTube showing the recording of the Mario Kart World music, which are kind of fun to check out.
Yeah. I love it when they release a video of their musicians in the studio. It's always fun. I think a lot about the one for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is that
during COVID when they were like all in their different homes.
Yeah, it rocks.
Okay, but on to new releases. On Thursday, August 27th, Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 2 is released on both Switch 2 and Switch.
I don't know why, but I'm absolutely going to buy this. I bought the first collection when it came out. Only played through Metal Gear Solid, but not for years, right? It took Metal Gear Solid Delta coming out last year for me to be like, oh, I should. My thought was, I'll play the original Metal Gear Solid 3, and then instead I played Metal Gear Solid, had an absolute blast, the best time, and then didn't play anymore. So I'm going to buy this, because I want to at least have access to these games the next time the spirit moves me to pick one up.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, on Friday, August 28th, Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is released on Switch 2. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do there. Somebody help me out. Help me make a decision on this one.
I think you should get Elden Ring.
Okay, all right.
That's my advice to you, because then you don't have a game filling this slot right now.
No, I don't. Yeah. I don't. I mean, I'm trying to work on those DK challenges. I still have Paris Normicide to get back to, but
by August 28th, the window is almost closed. Maybe
I'll have
wait
given
the
up hope.
weekend. Yeah, that's right.
And then also on Friday, August 28th, Vampire Survivors Legacy of the Blood Moon DLC is released.
Every time they do DLC for Vampire Survivors, it's fun and good. The next time I'm hanging out with a bunch of people who want to play Vampire Survivors, I will pick that up.
And then the other thing I wanted to shout out is that this weekend, the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 open beta is happening on all platforms, including Switch 2 this year. It runs Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific time to Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. And you can download like the open beta application from the eShop and take part in that if you're interested.
Is that something that you're interested in? I know that
Yeah,
you're
I might-
sort of interested in checking out the
I
game, but-
might jump in. I mean, yeah, we will see. There were some previews for the Modern Warfare 4 Switch 2 build that went out last week.
Oh, okay.
And it's not going to surprise you. It doesn't look as good as the
Sure.
like PlayStation 5 version, but it seems to be a decent port in the same way that like Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was, like a good port, kind of remarkable that it's running on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're playing on the Switch 2. They're going to make some graphical sacrifices to make that happen. But the fact that you can play the new Call of Duty on Switch 2 is pretty cool.
Right.
So,
And
yeah.
it won't be like the do you remember in like the days when like those games were on like Wii U?
Right, or even like they did put like World at War and
Yes, on
Modern
Wii.
Warfare on Wii.
And like those are like really hard sacrifices too.
Right.
And like to the point where it's basically different level design.
And there was no cross play or anything like that.
It doesn't seem like that's the situation here.
Yeah, and I might check it out because unlike the Duskbloods network test, it, as far as I know, is not specific Windows. It's just running all weekends. That's easier to like jump in and out of. So kind of cool.
Yeah. For I had obviously signed up for the Duskbloods network test, and just like whenever those windows were open, I either like wasn't available or just not in the mood to try it.
Sure.
And it's so like I get it. They're doing a network stress test, right? Like that's what that's there for, is to funnel people into specific times. But you tell me to play a game at a specific time, and I will like violently buck against that. I don't really know why. All right, Mark, those are the new releases. Let's close this out. Which brings us to a regular segment on our show. It's time for 433. In 1952, American composer John Cage wrote a piece called 433, wherein a performer or a group of performers didn't play their instruments for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. For the purposes of this show, our instruments are talking about Nintendo. So, for the duration of one performance, 433, Mark and I will talk about something not at all Nintendo related, thus fulfilling the contract of the piece. Mark, I think you noticed that possibly Halloween stuff is already popping up.
Yeah, Disneyland is already celebrating Halloween.
Right. So we thought we would go through the major American holidays and say when we think it is appropriate. When do we want to start seeing decorations or whatever for this
That's
holiday?
right. And this is just us.
Right.
We're not saying that this should be a law or anything.
No laws, especially because a couple of these holidays are religious holidays.
So it's just like...
So I don't think we should be making laws about when they can be celebrated.
But it's just, when do we personally...
When is my appetite for like, I could do some 4th of July stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's not start with New Year's Day, even though that is obviously the first one. We'll make New Year's its own thing at the end of the year. But so first, I think major holiday that we have to contend with here that commonly has like decorations and like rituals associated with it, Valentine's Day.
So my personal opinion is that I don't mind seeing it in January, but I want kind of like maybe a week or two break after New Year. So I think like mid-January... I am like a month ahead. I think I'm
want a
ready.
Full month of Valentine's Day?
I don't celebrate Valentine's Day ever, like in the no. I mean,
yes.
I don't like. It's not
believe
like,
in love.
It's
I
not
understand.
like it's not like the holiday season where you're like it's the holiday season. It's like Valentine's Day. If I'm gonna do something for it, I'm gonna do it on February 14th, and the rest of the time, seeing the hearts and the candy and stuff. It doesn't I'm fine with it. Like a month ahead of time. People have to plan. People have to, buy stuff for their kids.
A month is a lot. I don't know that there's a month of any, outside of Christmas, that there's a month of any holiday I really want to engage with, including you, Halloween. I'm coming for you. I feel like February 1st.
Okay.
Like that's
2
when
weeks.
we can.
That's
2 weeks is
time.
fine.
2 weeks notice.
That's right.
That's what you want.
I want 2 weeks notice. I want whatever is like the breakup security window where like you wouldn't break up with someone for a period before Valentine's Day. I think that period is 2 weeks.
Okay, interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
You could break up with someone on January 10th, right?
Right.
And no one's going to be like, before Valentine's Day? So I think that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
For me, January 15th. For you, February 1st.
That's right.
I think that's fair.
Okay, next up, Easter.
Easter is tough because I never know when it's happening.
Yeah, I think so. It's March or April sometimes. It's the first Sunday after the moon.
After the first full moon
March
that's
21st.
after March 21st.
Yeah.
The only reason I know that is because we looked it up.
Yes, that's right.
Literally minutes before we recorded this.
No, Easter decorations should go up the second that you are looking ahead at your calendar and going, oh, it's Easter. Should we not get together for a recording this Sunday?
Right.
That's when the decorations go up.
Okay. So let's say that it's, I think 2 weeks.
Sure.
This one I'm going 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks notice is all
2 weeks notice. I think it's
need
totally
for
fine.
Easter. Yeah.
All right. And I don't need them to go up ever. Independence Day, the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really just want the 4th of July stuff the week of 4th of July.
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Especially because there's like a little bit of a 4th of July hangover that like extends into the rest of the summer where like maybe there's a little bit less patriotism to it, but like you're going to another like outdoor barbecue, some kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I say like just the week of Independence Day.
All right, Halloween.
I feel like the traditional kickoff is October 1st.
Yeah, that seems great to me.
Okay, you like a full month of it.
I mean, that's not the world we live in. The world we live in is that it's happening
earlier and earlier
in August. But for me, like a month of Halloween. That's perfect.
I think I would prefer a month of Halloween. The problem for me with Halloween is that there are too many gross commercials on TV and on stuff. Like commercials start to get like, oh, we can be like horror themed, and I'm like, all right, like why am I seeing a thumb mutilated?
In an ad for Pringles.
Yes.
Somebody tried to pop open that lid.
And they can't do it. They've got a nail through their thumb. Oh, no. We're going to keep going here because there's only a couple holidays left.
Thanksgiving.
Now, this is an interesting one. It is the 4th Thursday in November.
So I don't mind after Halloween seeing like fall decorations. And I feel like the line between fall and Thanksgiving
is pretty thin.
Really thin.
Yeah. Well, and like
I think it's the amount of turkeys.
Yeah, you just like take down the skeletons and leave the pumpkins up, right? Yeah. From Halloween.
Right.
So I feel like you can start that.
Turn the faces around of the jack-o'-lanterns.
That's right.
Just,
yeah. Or fill them in, you know? Like,
right.
Just get
Because
some, like,
you save the
orange
pieces.
putty. Oh, yeah, sure. You save the pieces, of course.
You just push them back in.
Push them back in.
Yep.
So I think that's appropriate. And then Christmas.
So, yeah, I feel like right, for me personally, right after Thanksgiving, I think that's fine. You have like this holiday just like melange, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I feel like New Year's Day is in there as well. So we're just celebrating it all through all of December as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, and like New Year's and New Year's Eve, like I feel like it should like, yeah, your Christmas tree, if you're hosting a New Year's Eve party, your Christmas tree should
keep
still
it
be
up.
up. Keep it up. Keep the garland. You got garland. You got mistletoe. Keep it up. So yeah, I think that's all one holiday.
Yeah.
And it should be, yes. So Halloween, we start in September, and then we're just celebrating holidays till the end of the year.
No. Halloween, we're starting in October 1st.
Oh, that's, I guess,
in our world.
Yes, in our world, yeah. All right. We were accompanied today by bassist Tigran Petsarov. Mark, let's get into the news.
Hey, Gamescom kicks off this morning.
Hey,
Pacific
Gamescom.
time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll cover any announcements that come out of the show next week. I guess there's like a big opening presentation. Like, is it the equivalent? Is it the European equivalent of Summer Games Fest?
I mean, it is not, right? It historically has not been. We know that there's going to be a big presence from Final Fantasy VII Revelation. So we'll probably see some like gameplay and get like news-ish about that, but this isn't really the place where like announcements are made. So I'm not expecting anything like that during this presentation. But yeah, I'm sure some news will come out of it, and yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. But here's something that everyone should be aware of: the Switch 2 The Switch 2 price increases go into effect 1 week from today, September 1st.
Have you seen this? That displays at like Best Buy and Target, that they are like they appear to be official Nintendo signage, being like price increase effective on September 1st. Like they're obviously they were very straightforward with the people who are tuned into the Nintendo Today app or whatever. But that this information, like they're being very straightforward about it everywhere and giving people ample opportunity to buy before the increase.
Yeah. One kind of like piece that was missing from the puzzle is that when the price increases were announced back in May, they specified for a lot of regions, but they didn't specify what the increase would be in the UK. And then last week, they finally confirmed that it'll be increasing from £396, basically, to £420. So an increase of £24.
Okay.
So the new prices are, I'm not going to run through all of them, but basically it went up $50 in the US and Canada, 30 euros in Europe, £24 in the UK, and then 70 Australian dollars in Australia.
Yeah, so all like sort of comparable. Yeah.
We talked a little bit about the Duskbloods network test earlier, but as part of the test going live last week, outlets published their previews of the game.
Yeah.
The Guardian's preview, originally published with a line reading, quote, "The Duskbloods is released on 24 September, which caused a stir online because, of course, no release date has been announced for the Duskbloods.
Right, and it would be quite alarming if they were releasing it a month from today, right?
So the article was updated to have that removed, and then the author stated on social media that it was a mistake and that it was added by an editor. Eurogamer reached out to Nintendo for comment, and they received this statement, which is such a gift. The release date is inaccurate because there is no information regarding the release date of the Duskbloods. Which is kind of the perfect statement, because it's not saying that the release date...
not the release date.
It's just saying that, well, that's wrong because we haven't said when the release date is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point.
Yeah.
But also, come on. It's not coming out. I know I was just making the argument that it may not even be coming out this year, but like...
Yeah, I agree. It feels very unlikely to me that it would launch like a month from now.
Yeah, because this is not a game that you shadow drop, right? Like they've been working on it for too long. The partnership with Nintendo is too sort of like integrated here. I know FromSoft is publishing it. It's not a Nintendo published game, but like, you know, a lot of the like the previews or the people who had gone to the previews were first of all reporting that like this thing is like under lock and key in both with representatives from both Nintendo and FromSoft, like you know, like sort of hounding people to keep the secrets, but then also that some of the like UI and the way that information is introduced to the players was influenced by Nintendo developers, like having conversations with FromSoft to be like, no, like we need to like guide people a little bit in this experience, especially if it is this like multiplayer, like quick in.
Yes, and that Nintendo was helpful in guiding that because that's generally not how FromSoftware makes their games. I will say the and it's just the network test, so you know I'm assuming that the main game will handle this very differently. But the network test was like, let me tell you all you need to know through these boxes that pop up on everything that like stop the gameplay and be like, let me explain this mechanic to you.
Sure.
And even then, there were so many mechanics that it's just like that it was a little overwhelming. So it'll be interesting to see how it's handled in the final game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is a Switch 2 exclusive for all, like, you know, it's been announced maybe down the line it gets ported to PC or something, but this feels like a Bayonetta 2, Bayonetta 3 situation. Although, like you said, I guess Nintendo isn't publishing it.
Right. So, you know, we'll see. You know, if this game comes to other platforms, I'll cut my head off with a chainsaw.
There we go. FromSoftware also reported that more people signed up for this network test than the Elden Ring Night Rain test when that happened a few years ago, which surprised them given how small the Switch 2 audience is compared to all the platforms Night Rain is on.
Yeah, that is interesting. I think it's just that like this specific like kind of audience on the Switch 2 isn't totally being served by like Anything?
It definitely brought more attention for good and for ill to this game and Switch 2 from like an audience that hasn't been paying attention to the Switch 2.
Yeah.
And so which I think, well done, Nintendo, right? By like securing a game like this, that's what you're trying to do. But it will be very interesting to see how all that works out for them. Also, they were saying, well, maybe it was because we had never done a multiplayer thing like this when Night Rain was the demo, so people didn't know what to expect.
Yeah,
but after
sure.
Night Rain's been like a success, people are more excited about the idea of what like a FromSoftware multiplayer thing could be.
I think there's also just like the thing of like Elden Ring is such a, and obviously like you can raid other people's games, but it's like by and large a single player experience. And so like to release another Elden Ring game, essentially it's a standalone product, and for it to be a multiplayer thing, there's a little like Metroid Prime Federation Forces thing happening there to sort of like dampen enthusiasm. If the Duskbloods was Bloodborne Night Rain, maybe that would also have the same effect. But just knowing that like this game is built for just this, and like there was no single player game that you were like robbed of or whatever, that people's attitudes towards it are different.
IO Interactive announced that 007 First Light has sold 4 million copies since it launched at the end of May. Of note for Nintendo fans, while originally delayed on Switch 2 to late summer 2026, IO is now just saying later in 2026.
Later in 2026.
So we are almost at the end of summer, right?
Yeah.
So it could still release like end of September, early October.
Yeah, I mean, out of summer. By the calendar, we still have like a month left of summer, right? So September 20th will be the end of summer. But the game release dates don't really adhere to the exact same the calendar here. And also, if they're just saying later, later in particular is so not late 2026 or just 2026 sometime, but later. That ER is really tripping me up a little bit.
Yeah. Finally, Terranigma, a 1995 SNES RPG from Enix, the developers of ActRaiser and Illusion of Gaia, that only ever released in Japan and Europe, never got a release in the US, is being re-released on modern consoles next year in 2027.
Yeah, interesting little announcement here. This is not Terranigma is not a game that was on my radar as like a long lost
me
JRPG.
either.
Yeah.
And when the news of this got posted in the Discord, I was like, cool, but I don't know what this. I'm not familiar with this game at all. But a friend of the show, Drew Mackey, popped in and told me that it's considered one of the best 16-bit RPGs ever.
Now, you and I had a great time with Live Alive when another possible entry in the greatest 16-bit RPGs ever canon was remade as an HD 2D game on Switch. This is not like a remake or reimagining or whatever of Terranigma. It seems like there are some quality of life tweaks and stuff.
I don't even know.
It looks kind of minimal though.
Yeah, like the trailer doesn't specifically call out any of that stuff. And the publisher is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a small publisher, like limited run games type thing.
Sure.
And so I don't really know what to expect from this release. And the trailer doesn't give that much away. So it will be interesting to learn more, but I'm definitely intrigued now.
Yeah, I mean it's very cool to see just like those crunchy the pixel art. What am I saying here? The graphics. You know? What are they called when it's like a little guy?
Sprite.
The sprite work is all very like crunchy and blocky and interesting. And I'm in. I want to know more about this game. All right, Mark. That's the news. Let's close this out. Which is, of course, going to do it for this entire episode of Nintendo Cartridge Society, the last Nintendo Cartridge Society to include a quote from Castlevania II Simon's Quest. It's the end of an era.
It really is. We had a great run. Castlevania 2 turned out to be the perfect game for something like that.
Yeah, it's a little too much like addressing you, the player, so that like a lot of the Nintendo Cartridge Society does this with you. There was a lot of just like repetitive use in that. I'm excited where the next game takes us. We're jumping ahead a little bit in time, so that's just another tease for what we're going to do next. All right. If you're not in the Discord already, you should be. Email us. We'll send you an invitation. Anthony DeLuca made our logo. Our theme music is provided by 8-Bit Betty. You can get more of his music by going to 8bitbetty.com or by listening right now. For my co-host, Mark Mitchell, this is Patrick Eller saying thank you for listening.